This is The Way We Speak. In today's episode, communicative behavior in bilingual shows.
Artlist.io.
Welcome back to your favorite podcast where we discuss the way we speak. In today's episode, we're going to discuss different topics related to the communicative behavior in bilingual series and shows.
Music licensing reimagined.
Before we fully start, we know that some of you might listen or watch this in the background. So whenever you hear this sound, it means that we are showing a clip that you must see to understand better.
Let's start with two concepts that sound similar but are quite different: code switching and code mixing. Let's look at Freddy from iCarly. I remember that in the show he was always dropping random Spanish words. Actually, let's take a look.
¿Cómo? Buenos días, muchachalatas. ¡Arriba! ¿Queso? ¡Fantástico! ¡Carne! ¡Da gusto, Pantalones. ¡Arriba! Casa del Fredo. Hola, David. Agua. Maravilloso.
Freddy is the perfect example of code mixing. Freddy, the cameraman, when he gets excited or mad, uses different Spanish words. In this clip, we saw he shouts, "That is great, arriba, I'll set up the camera right now." Or sometimes he just randomly shouts, "pantalones."
So he's taking a few Spanish words or short exclamations, some of which don't even make sense, and dropping them right into his English sentence.
Exactly, the implementation of single words or phrases into the language is called code mixing. He isn't changing the whole conversation for someone else. He's just spontaneously using words or phrases that popped into his head or felt right in the moment. For example, in the show Violeta, where they might insert words like show or timing into Spanish. Both are examples of mixing. The only difference is that Freddie usually used them as a joke for the audience.
I'm glad that you mentioned that. The distinction is really clear. Code switching is a channel change and code mixing is blending single words, like Freddy adding random Spanish flavor to his English. But now let's move to a different concept. If mixing is blending ingredients, translanguaging is using absolutely everything you have in the kitchen to make the best meal. That's why Ni Hao Kailan fit perfectly, right?
It is. That show is the perfect example of translanguaging. Um, First, let's pause and explain to the show for those who don't know what Ni Hao Kailan is. So, Caro, can you please help me and share with the audience what the show is about, please? Exactly, the implementation of single words or phrases into the language is called code mixing. He isn't changing the whole conversation for someone else. He's just spontaneously using words or phrases that popped into his head or felt right in the moment. For example, in the show Violeta, where they might insert words like show or timing into Spanish. Both are examples of mixing. The only difference is that Freddie usually used them as a joke for the audience. Yes, that is correct. So the big question here is, why is it translanguaging? And I think I need to specify this first, but this show is centered in education and also in cultural appreciation. And Kailan often uses a few words in Chinese and then changes to English. And many people would think that this is a code switching example, but it isn't. And let me explain why. So, Kailan and her friends use Chinese without referring to the word in English. So, they don't explicitly say, like, let's talk in Chinese. Instead, they use the language without specifying its meaning. So it's pretty easy, right?
My head hurts. I understand why it's often confused as code switching. They're pretty similar. Fortunately, we have an example. Let's watch.
You're just in time. The dumplings are ready.
饺子，谢谢爷爷，谢谢爷爷，谢谢爷爷。
You did a great job waiting, Ho Ho. And now you can eat some dumplings.
谢谢爷爷。好好吃。
Okay, so bear with me. It's a bit complicated. So in the clip, we see that Jeje, which it's grandpa in Mandarin, it's serving the kids some dumplings. The kids grab the dumplings and then talk, well, they say a few words in Mandarin that they know. In this case, a shesher, which, which is thank you. And they say that to Yeye and then turn to each other like saying, these dumplings are so hauchi, which it's tasty in Mandarin.
So they are learning and reacting by using whatever language is most helpful for the emotional part of the young.
Exactly. They aren't switching the language because they have to. Instead, they are integrating their languages. So they use English for the context, but use the Mandarin words to show kind of like respect and cultural appreciation. And I say respect because, well, they're talking about their culture, so, and also to Jeje, so they use Mandarin to express that kind of respect.
That's amazing. We learn new things every day. And to wrap up, we have crossing, which is more about identity than efficiency. Where do we see this in the Owl House and Adventure Time? Well, crossing is fascinating because it's when you use a language or a phrase in a way that is unexpected in that setting, often to assert who you are.
Like Luz Noceda in the Demon Realm.
Exactly. Luz is in a magic world where everyone speaks English. Whenever she is frustrated, excited, or reacts strongly, she shouts, Ay, Dios mío! Or Que vergüenza, meaning oh my god, or how embarrassing, in Spanish. And her demon friends don't speak Spanish.
Your bus is coming soon. Text me when you get there. Cuídate mucho, mija. Que te vaya bien.
¡Ay, qué lindo!
Ida, he's so cute.
So she's not code mixing, so Amity can understand the words, right?
Not at all. She's crossing because that Spanish is an expression of her human Latina identity. She's bringing her culture to a world that doesn't know it, and she's doing it through language. Similarly, when Lady Renicorn speaks Korean in Adventure Time, that unusual language choice immediately underscores her unique magical identity. It's a way of performing your identity with language.
That was a great breakdown. And just to clarify, we use these terms, the mixing, the switching, and the translanguaging, not because they're academic terms for us, but because we actually use them in our everyday life with our social circles and our academic circles.
And for me, choosing these specific topics was also about highlighting the shows themselves. We grew up watching series like iCarly, The Owl House, Ni Hao Kailan, and these bilingual animated shows. were huge because they were often the first place we saw our own reality reflected back at us.
Yeah, I mean, that's the key takeaway. These shows normalize the complexity of being bilingual, and they show kids that it's okay to speak two different languages and to use them. So they're not just entertainment, like they are vital in our language acquisition and development.
Precisely. So next time you're watching a show, pay attention to the language moves. They're a reflection of you. Thank you all so much for turning into the way we speak. We'll catch you next time.